Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to unveil our latest simple, effective, and easy strategy, the Fun 21. How to keep your mental sanity after 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard, our precise daily stock levels, our game plan and Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. Just going to just really quickly share. Have us doing this disclaimer thing. It makes the lawyers very, very satisfied. And I'm just gonna keep this up for a hot second here. And yeah, just basically giving a disclaimer that basically it's not investment advice. I'm not a registered investment advisor, etc. I will not repeat that in the future, but I will show you this, and you could feel free to pause and watch it anytime you want. Okay, moving on. How about the simple, effective, easy strategy? Are you guys pumped the way I am? I'm a little pumped. Little pump. It's like this guy either, drank 7 too many Red Bulls, or he has a cocaine habit, or maybe he's just high on life. Or maybe, just maybe he's just really that excited about the Fun 21 strategy. And I'm going to share with you something that's pretty simple. And before I share it with you, I wanted to talk about the reasoning, why this was an important strategy to release. The reason why I felt it was an important strategy to release here was the fact that there is a group of traders who I always tell slow down after 11. There's a group of traders, as you guys know, who trade from like 9:30 to 9:45, 9:30 to 9:40, 9:30 to 10 o'clock. They're basically trading for 10 minutes to 30 to 45 minutes a day. Between 10 and 45 minutes, they make their money and they leave. They apply the strategy like, you know what, that's it. I don't need to do anymore, and they do something else with their lives. And I commend people for those strategies. But I'll tell you, when I first started working at T3, for example, back in 2007, I would be taking, I would have to check it out. I would have to drive to the subway station, to the 6th line in downtown Brooklyn, outside the big Target over there. I would have to drive to the last line on the 6th line, search for parking. Sometimes it took me 5 minutes to find parking. Sometimes it took me an hour and a half. Like I just couldn't do it. Like I would go 15 blocks down, circle the entire neighborhood, and there's just nothing. And I would literally have to miss work on some days because I couldn't find parking. Like it sounds obnoxious. And then I come in the office all late and people are looking at me like, did you have a late night drinking? And I'm sitting there like, I love traffic. So I would take the subway into work. It would take around 30 to 40 minutes. I would get off the subway. I'd have to walk 5 minutes over to the building, 5 minutes to get upstairs to the big elevator and set myself up. And I'd be sitting in the office there. And what is the point of me telling you this? I didn't really feel like walking out after 10 o'clock. There's something inherently that we have to get over, that it's my fault maybe. Like when I was back in 2007, you figured I had 8 years experience as a trader to date myself as to date my experience. And there was no way in hell I'm spending 30 minutes in work when it took me an hour and a half to get there and an hour and a half to get back. Hour and a half to get there, hour and a half to get back. So I'm spending 3 hours to work 30 minutes. That is 1/6 the time of my travels to work. It's not 10%. It's 1/6, 16.6%. So that felt inherently wrong. I felt like I needed to hang around the office more. And even though the majority of my money was made in the first hour of trading almost every day, I really felt that I had to stick around. I had to stick around. I had to stay around because it was nuts. I traveled so far. I was a worker. Come home later. I had to come home. It had to be 5:30 when I walked through the door. And that was like my 9 to 5, even though I was waking up, leaving earlier, and arriving later. But it was like a 9 to 5 job. Generally, when I was trading after 11, I was scraping my wheels. I was scraping my wheels. I would spend an hour making 95% of my money, and let's say 5% of the rest of my money was spent trading the other 5.5 hours of the market 5 days a week. Quick math, anyone? 27 and a half hours. 27 and a half hours to make 27 and a half hours of looking at my monitor trading. 27, I didn't include bathroom breaks. Let's not get whatever with it. 27 and a half hours to make 5% of my money, 5 hours to make 95% of my money. And I understand there are people out there they're either, they have people there, they're waiting, they won't know what to do with themselves if they're not in front of their screen and their monitor. And this strategy is going to take you to that next level. Or by next level, I mean, it's going to give you more of a purpose when you stick around a little longer. Now, I don't really like a lot of trading after 11, especially in the current market environment. If you knew me back in 2008, 2009, 2012, I notice I left out 2010 and 11, but like 2008, 2009, 2012, for me, the market would just start getting warmed up like after like 2 o'clock. I'd be like, oh, cool. Let's see what happens. And I would get excited. We're not in that current market environment. Are we going to get back to that market environment? 100%. For me, the question is not if, but when. But if you're truly evolving with the market, you have to understand the type of moves that happen. And the majority of the moves in this market happen between 9:30 and 11. So here is the question in which where I will successfully tackle and show you how to successfully tackle. How do we make money after 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard? After the first hour and a half, this trading tends to be very choppy, very choppy. Very choppy. Like, don't like take my word for it. Here's a 15-minute of NVIDIA, an earnings name. Look, here's 9:45 to 10 o'clock. First half hour, it drops 8 points. Look at it for the rest of the day. Look at that. Oh my God, I can't move. Oh, look, I'm stuck. I can't move. You see? Here's Apple. Even Apple. Here's the move to 11. Apple was the one exception that actually kept running. But still, the move from 9:30 to 11 o'clock, I'll even show you even on Apple, the maybe if you want to argue an exception, 213 to 215.34. So Apple moved $2.18 from 9:30 to 11. From 11 till the close, it moved $2.61. And this was a massive exception to the rule. The volatility earlier on, I mean, Apple was the strongest FANG name on Friday, went to all-time highs, as you can see right here on the daily. And you can always find that exception to the rule. But generally speaking, and we have to generalize when you do your strategies, you have to play it as almost its odds. I mean, if I told you we can roll a 20-sided die, and if the number lands on 20, you'll triple your money. And if the number lands on 1 to 19, you'll lose all your money. And you'll say, Mark, look, here's a day where I rolled a 20. And I'll be like, yeah, I get it. But that doesn't show consistency. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my humble honor to introduce you to the next effective, simple, effective strategy within my tool belt. and that is appear. The Fun 21. Fun 21, the Fun 21. You can email me your thoughts on, the Facebook or Facebook, the Fun 21 or Fun 21. Very simple. I'm going to make it easy. Don't worry about reading all that right now. It is pretty similar to the high five strategy with just some minor exceptions, and we're going to go through them step by step. I'm going to actually make it a little easier for you to learn. So, first thing is, what are you going to need to do this strategy? A 5-minute chart, an exponential 8, and 21 moving average. That's it. So you need a 5-minute chart, you need an exponential 8, and a 5-minute moving average. Exponential 8 and 21, excuse me, moving average. This is going to allow you to execute the strategy effectively. Now, let's move on. Step 1. I'm going to teach you how to do the strategy, and I'm breaking it down a little more smoothly than the old C strategies as I get obviously better at, you know, demonstrating these strategies to you. I want to make it as easy as possible to learn. So for best results, choose a name with positive or negative news that's on the Newsbeat Live Morning Game Plan. Your results will be far superior by utilizing names that are in the Newsbeat live room. However, I respect those who are not in the Newsbeat live room because we're genuinely here to help people. So for good but lesser results, take a name with very high pre-market volume. Simple. Step 2. Your stock we're going to talk about going long on this trade for now. It also works short vice versa, but your stock must, just for the sakes of examples, and we'll show you short examples, your stock must gap up above the 8 and 21 moving average on the 5-minute chart. And if you're looking to short it, it must gap below the 8 and 21 exponential moving average on the chart. I'm going to show you examples. Just stick with this. You could always rewatch the video and then test it on your own charts. I think you'll be quite impressed. Step 3, the stock must test the exponential 21 moving average on the 5-minute chart, and then you just simply wait for the candlestick to close on the 5-minute. What does that mean when a candlestick closes at the 5-minute? At 9:35 a.m. Eastern Standard, a candlestick closes 9:40, 9:45, 9:50, 9:55, 10, 10:05. Get it? Every 5-minute bar closes. That's what we're referring to here when we say the bar must close. So, step 4, after the bar closes, the next time a new 5-minute candle breaks any prior 5-minute candle high, we're using this as a long, just vice versa on the short. Simply buy in using common shares or option calls. Very, very simple. Step 5, take your profits. Here, let me just make this a little bit of a bigger font there. There you go. Take your profits. This strategy is 74.1% effective as of today using Newsbeat live names. Let me just fix that. Newsbeat live names as of January 1st, 2018. Okay. For me, like, this is what happened. Like, so I didn't do it on this strategy, but on the last strategy, I found out it was a higher percent if I actually included 2017 and an even higher percent if I included 2016. And I said to myself, I'm not here to juice the numbers. Like, I'm not here to wow you and show you like, oh, like if you remember, like the one and done strategy or the high five strategy. Like if you look at the high five strategy here, um, right over here was 72.9% effective. However, if I were to actually utilize last year on the high five strategy, if I actually utilized 2017, it was like just under 80%. And again, I'm not trying to make you say, oh my God, like, wow. To me, it's more accurate with the more recent data. And I think using data at the beginning of the year is always an eloquent place to start. Some people are like, show me 2, 3 years of backtest data, like when I talk to them. And I'm like, okay. And then I have other people like backtest that thing for 5 years. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Is that what you want me to do? Hang up. Because when people talk like that, they just don't get it. Who cares what worked 5 years ago? Who cares what worked 5 years ago? Let me ask you a question. Would you rather use a strategy that's 80% effective in the last 3 months, or would you rather use a strategy that is 80% effective randomly over the past 5 years? Like, what if year four was better than year three? What if it was 85% effective and it's just on a decline now? Again, much rather have something that works in the past few months than something that works 5 years ago. So we're going to show you examples of this working. And here's a name that we traded on Friday. Real pain in the butt one too. We did the high five short strategy right here on AMAT. And we basically shorted through right over here, and the stock was jumping up and down, and it was such a pain in the butt. And then finally it worked, and I got rid of my puts. But then I said, you know what? That was a short because look, AMAT here's AMAT, it gapped down on Friday with earnings, right? It gapped below the 8 and 21. Remember, that is one of our steps. So right over here, this was for the long. This was the long one. The short one is reverse. The short one is it has to gap below it. So in AMAT's case, it gapped below the 8 and 21, meaning you're only looking to short it. So what happens? Hits the exponential 8 right here. We short it through. Hard trade. We made money. Then you see this blue line here is the exponential 21. This blue line I have here is the exponential 21. So after 11 o'clock, normally I would say I'm done trading AMAT for the day, but instead, went up, hits the exponential 21, stops here. So right after this bar closes, the next time AMAT breaks down on a 5-minute chart, I'm either going to short it or I'm going to buy puts. Did it happen here? Did we break down here? No. 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 Did we break down here? Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, we broke down there. And I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of a. I'm actually doing on Microsoft Paint because I'm going to make this as easy to understand as possible. Like, so here, so check it out. So right over here is the first test. Right here is test number one. Oh, what's that little dot up there? There we go. Here is first test of 21 EMA. So there is the first test of the 21 EMA. So that is considered step number one, by the way, just to be clear, that is, step number one. So step number one, we have the first test of the 21 EMA. At that point, the next thing you're waiting for is you're waiting for the stock to break the next 5-minute bar low. Again, simple algorithmic strategies, very effective. Very, very effective. Stock goes up, stock goes up, stock goes up, stock goes up, but right over here. Right over there. You see that? You see this? See the low of this bar here? It broke down. That low broke down right over here. So this is where I'm shorting it. I'm not shorting at the top of this red bar. I'm not shorting it at the bottom of this red bar. I'm shorting it after the prior candle's breaks. Short after prior candle breaks. And this is a trade I demonstrated in the room on Friday too, guys. If you're wondering why I was shorting AMAT there, this was the reason. So as you can see, in a case like this, AMAT went down beautifully. I mean, And we're going to get into like what kind of reward you should look for in a moment. But like you were able to make money in immediately. Like before you could blink, you're up 25, 30 cents. Again, are you hitting a home run on this? No. So this was really step two. Step number two. And step number three, of course, is take profits soon. I cannot emphasize this word enough. Take profits soon. Okay? Take your profits soon. And I'll explain why. And I'm going to show you other examples of other names we demoed it on Friday. Again, I don't give stock picks or investment advice. Nothing I ever say should be misconstrued as such. So remember, everything I'm teaching you here is for demo purposes only, even if I do real trades in them. Um, don't you love these disclaimers? So right over here. So here's NVIDIA. Here's NVIDIA. So yes, I could see you could have made money on the high five shorting it. NVIDIA gapped down on earnings. We all saw that. Flushes down, comes up, but you see this blue line? Hits it right over there for the first time between 11:55 and 12 o'clock. Here's the next bar. Didn't break down. I'm not even saying you're shorting at the top here. But look at the next bar that breaks down. And this is where we called our short on Friday. Right below, I was testing it out on Friday. I wanted to make sure everything was good. Look at that short in NVIDIA from 246.75 all the way to 244.18. Now, do I think catching a move to 244.18 is generally the right move in this? No, to be honest, after it broke 246.75, it dropped 65 cents. I think if you caught 30, 40, 50 cents, that's good. I know some of you guys caught over $1 in this one, and you could have held it and it would have went down even more. You might be sitting here and wondering, why am I telling you this the word soon? Why am I using the word soon? So, the strategy is 74.1% effective as of January 1st. And the one thing I say to take note of here is that this strategy is generally best for quick scalp. Market tends to slow down after 11. Don't use Friday as an example. Don't use last week as an example. I am using the year of 2018 as an example. And generally speaking, yes, I've seen this strategy hold for the entire day and it keeps going in your direction. Fine. The whole point of this strategy are for those who are just glued to their screen. That was the reason why I told you about the travel, because I feel you. I feel you when you don't have a choice. It's much easier when you trade from home to say, oh, screw it, I made money, I'm done. Computer off, I'll go outside, I'll go read a book, I'll go pick my nose, I'll watch TV. Whatever it is, it's usually more fruitful than trading. But in a situation like this, I understand that a lot of you guys are glued to the office, and I don't want you screwing each other over. I don't want you screwing each other over. Not each other, yourself over. I'm trying to help you beat you. If you want to know the whole point of these strategies, I could sit here in my underwear, which I'm not wearing. I am wearing underwear, but I'm also wearing something else. I was about to say I'm not wearing underwear, but let's keep this Newsbeat show very clean. And the only imagination I want in your heads when thinking about the Newsbeat show is making money and chart patterns and how to take advantage of the news ideas. With that being said, um, I'm trying to protect you from you. If you need to sit there in the office, I would tear down on this strategy. I know what a lot of you are thinking, and I'm here to tell you that this is not the case. A lot of you are thinking, well, you're using a 21 moving average. My conviction should go up. I'm actually telling you the exact opposite, that it goes down in this current market environment. In the future, it might go up when the action really picks up after 12 o'clock, after 11 o'clock. When that action begins to pick up, ladies and gentlemen, we will readdress this. We will revisit it, and we will relook at it. But this is a strategy meant for you if you want to make money after 11 o'clock with lower size. That's it. I don't care that Nvidia dropped $2.50 off of our call on Friday when we called it in the room on Friday. I don't care. I don't want you guys catching $2 and whatever. What did it drop? $2 and 57 cents. I don't want you catching $2.50 on this idea. I don't. Not for your full position. You hold 10%, whatever. Do whatever you want. You hold the lotto. You're on the house's money. I don't care. But make sure you're on the house's money. What I'm saying is I don't care if you made 50 cents on this trade. I don't care if you made $1 on this trade. Don't make $2 on this trade. Isn't that weird? I'm literally telling you not to make more money. And the reason for that is I have seen hundreds of these ideas play out. I back tested. It's an effective, solid strategy. If you're sitting there and oh, I'd prefer that you just turn your computer off. For whatever reason you're not doing that and you need to slap in another trade, here you go. It's very consistent. And again, the reason I released this was to help you people who were trading after 11 o'clock a.m. How do you find consistency after 11 o'clock a.m.? And for those who emailed me on the simple, effective, easy strategy, that is what you guys were asking for. The majority. Some of you asked for, I want swing ideas, I want higher time frames. I have news for you. The next C strategy is going to be a swing idea, and I already have an idea what it is, but I need to do more testing, more back testing. I have to put in more work behind it before I'm putting my stamp of approval on anything. I'm going to make sure that everything works out, to my satisfaction if I'm going to come to you and reveal a strategy for you. So, again, feel free to vote. You're always welcome to email me at mark.melnick@t3live.com, and I'd be always happy to show you. Now, let me show you another example. We're still getting into more, ladies and gentlemen. This Newsbeat show is not over. The mental sanity after 11 o'clock is part of the Fun 21 strategy. This is how you keep your mental sanity after 11 o'clock. We still have more to show you. But how about Dean Foods? This is another one we called out on Friday. And you could see right here, Dean Foods broke out. Now, Dean Foods was a tight name. You have to understand that Dean Foods put in a 53-cent range on Friday. It's a sub $10 stock. I don't like using this one as an example, but I just want to show you something. So here's Dean Foods, slaps against the 21 right here, showing it's a short through $18.19 with a stop of 8.23, and it just holds it all day and does nothing. Goes down to $8.10 and gets pinned. Now, I know what a lot of you saying. I know what a lot of you are saying. Mark, catching 8-9 cents in a Dean Food is like over 1%. And I respect that. But please, though, if there's one thing I'm asking you with this strategy, is this is indeed intended to be a scalp strategy. I understand that a lot of times when we call these ideas, they keep going in your favor. And if you figure that out, God bless you, you have my blessing. But just to know if you are asking my intentions, do not underestimate this slide where I say this strategy is generally best for quick scalps. The market tends to slow down after 11. So if you catch a quick 20, 30, 40 cents in a name, you could give that back and you could get it back and you could give it back and you could be sitting there for hours. This is good for the quick scalp for those who are looking to take advantage of it. So definitely let me know your thoughts on the strategy. Just so you know, if you are interested in seeing the next strategy or a different type of strategy, or you want to see a problem addressed, a strategy that addresses a problem. I think that's the key to fixing psychology. It took me about 20 years as a trader to figure this out. I mean, granted, like I've been trading over 19 years now. Like it took me almost 20 years to figure out is the best way to cure psychology is usually through healthy food, easy to do exercises that take less than 3 minutes because most people are lazy and won't go to a gym, followed by the right strategies. I think if you combine those three things together, I think you have a successful trader in the works. So this strategy is intended to keep you safe from yourself. How many of you guys get hurt, scalp trade a million shares, start draining your mental capital, your psychological capital after 11 o'clock. This is going to help you preserve it. This is like putting your psychological capital in a savings account. And you look at it after the end of the month and it didn't grow much, but it grew. And you're like, okay, I could deal with that. And just think of it more analogically towards that, and definitely leave your thoughts in the comment section of what you thought about this and how I, of course, what more you would like to see. How about our precise daily stock levels? Would you like every support and resistance level that I will be watching tomorrow? What if I was sharing them with you in the Qs, Spiders, IWM, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google? What if I was sharing all of those names with you, major FANG names and three major ETFs? You can feel free to screenshot it. Game plan. I'm watching this little YRD garbage. Again, I'm not super excited when it comes to these names, but here's YRD. Yorendai, I'm assuming it's a Chinese company, very beaten up, popping up with volume over a 21 moving average. And I'm looking and I'm like, wow, this thing hasn't been above like a clean break above the 21 moving average for a while. And the last time that really happened, you had a little follow through in the next coming week. So I'm looking for a break of $18.20 tomorrow in YRD. How about my Forex? Yeah, I know. Just one idea. I get it. Just the Euro US dollar. It's a buy, 4 US standard lots. I'm bidding 1.14088 as we speak. I update these levels right before I run this show. Here's my stop loss in case I am wrong. Here's my take profit in case I am right. And that is going to be my only Forex bid within the market. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have more C strategies for you. The next one will be a swing strategy that is phenomenally effective in today's environment. It's actually going to blow your mind when you see it. You're probably going to wonder why I wasn't doing this before, but before I still need to do more back testing. I'm 99% positive it works, but that's not 100%. And that's what I'm going to back test before I give you the next C strategy. Tell me what you thought about this one. You could always email me at mark.melnick@t3live.com. Keep in mind these C strategies do work most effectively with the news names, hence why we're the Newsbeat, and these percentages were returned based on the names that I offer you guys every single morning. Ladies and gentlemen, the Newsbeat Live Room is the fastest, largest growing trading room in the United States of America. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.